Coming up on Thunder Insider, we've known for a long time about Serge Ibaka's range on defense, but have you seen him lately at the offensive end? The Thunder is now a team full of veterans, but development is still a watchword for this ball club. Thunder web writer Nick Gallo joins us to discuss. The Thunder has spent part of this preseason taking the show on the road. We will show you some sights and sounds of the annual blue and white scrimmage in Bixby. All that and so much more coming up on Thunder Insider. The next time we see our heroes, the ammunition will be live. The regular season is upon us. Hello again. Welcome to the studios of Pubco for another edition of Thunder Insider. I'm Brian Davis, joined this afternoon by our radio voice, Matt Pinto, and my partner, broadcast analyst, a man who could himself use an analyst, Grant Long. Sorry, I couldn't resist. All right, fellas, very impressive preseason. I thought we saw some real flashes of progress as the Thunder went through training camp.
It will always be, Brian, defense first with this team, but defense is aided by solid offense, and that's spacing the floor, moving the basketball, having floor balance. And this team, I thought, as the preseason wore on, got better and better in that regard. Grant?
I'm continually impressed with the continuity of the ball club. I like the fact that this group has been together for a minute, and you can see it on the floor. The plays, the play calling, the execution of the half-court offense has been very above board, and I think that's where this team is going to have an advantage as they move toward the regular season.
The Thunder finished the preseason at 4-3, wrapping up with an impressive victory in Wichita over the Dallas Mavericks. Fans here in Wichita who appreciate good defense are loving it. The largest crowd ever.
Great crowd tonight. Definitely supportive of us. It was great to see them come out and really enjoy the game. You know, and on our part, we did some great things out there on the court. Put on a show for them because, you know, they don't get to see us often in person. So it was just good to play in front of them and get a chance to see them.
Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, Cole Aldrich.
Well, I knew Nick and Cole were big. I didn't think they were that big. Hey, it's a great atmosphere. This is a great place to play. There's no doubt our players appreciate the fans coming out and supporting our team, and hopefully we put on a good show. Hopefully they walked away and thinking, you know, this is a good team to follow.
Defensively, we just got to think about going into practice as having a defensive mindset, rebounding, contesting shots, talking on D. Our offense to take care of itself. We just got to make sure we do a better job.
It's one of the things we've been focusing on. We have to be able to rebound the basketball. We're a good defensive team. We can make teams miss. We just have to finish up that defense with the rebound. And that's one of the things that we emphasized all training camp. I thought we've improved in that area, but it's come regular season. We have to continue to do that and do it consistently.
This game really helped us out because this is the second game that I think all of our core played, and so it was a good feeling out there. And like I said, we have a week to prepare.
The Thunder spread the preseason love throughout the region in the preseason. Tulsa, where they had a great reception against Phoenix, and then Wichita, where they knocked off the Mavericks. And I think for this team, there's a sense of confidence that continued to develop as the preseason wore on. And Grant, there were flashes of absolute brilliance as the preseason wore on as well. They won 4 of their final 5 games.
And we saw some individual performances also. Serge Ibaka really getting hot from the three-point line. Nick Collison actually knocked down a three-point shot as well during the preseason. So a lot of guys have added some dimensions to their game that's going to help the team in general.
The thing that I thought was really neat, defensively, they got the transition game going, but they did a much better job spacing the floor and playing inside-out basketball.
I thought what was great was the fact that they were passing the ball. And I mentioned earlier the execution of their offense generating higher percentage shots. And when you talk about the competition in the NBA, it's all about how can you execute your offense to get a very good high percentage shot. And we've seen that to a high level from this ball club.
It doesn't happen by osmosis. It happens as a result of experiencing each other. These guys now know sweet spots of their teammates. They're getting the ball to them.
The Thunder finished the preseason averaging 25 assists a game, a significant improvement. As Matt mentioned, the Thunder played before a sellout crowd in Wichita. In fact, record crowds in Tulsa and in Wichita, where we took our home show and everybody was feeling right at home at the Intrust Bank Arena.
We're having a big NBA game here in Wichita tonight. So everybody in town's excited to see these two great teams play. Hey, anytime you can get an elite team like that into a city like Wichita, a venue like that, it's going to be a sellout, and it's just exciting to see these great athletes play.
It's my wife's birthday, so it's like a win-win situation. I get to go to an NBA game and treat her to a little something, and at least I get to go to an NBA game.
Wichita's a big supporter of the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's the closest NBA team that we've got geographically, and just a lot of exciting players on that team.
I love the Thunder. Since we're really close, since we live in Wichita, I think it's really fun, and I love the Thunder.
The crowd, the people, it's extremely entertaining.
Electric, exciting, everybody's just fired up to watch them play tonight.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
Perkins pick, penetrates and pitches to Ibaka. Three-corner left, cha-ching, a Thunder money ball.
If they stretch that defense like that, yeah, it's going to be really tough to guard us.
Jump pass, loaded the red, up, quick to the right hand, slam dunk. Gear up for Thunder basketball at NBAThundershop.com. The Thunder Shop is the official team store of your Oklahoma City Thunder.
Erased inside by Perkins. That's great basketball.
Stocked with all of the current on-court authentic apparel, fan memorabilia, and collectibles for fans of all ages. Declare your loyalty for Thunder basketball at NBAThundershop.com.
Hi, I'm Eric MAYNOR, and you're watching Thunder Insider.
The Thunder goes into the new season looking to be more productive from the three-point line, and through training camp, it appears that they may get that increase from an unlikely source.
Perkins pick, penetrates and pitches to Ibaka. Three-corner left, cha-ching, a Thunder money ball. Serge Ibaka hit a three.
If they stretch that defense like that, yeah, it's going to be really, tough to guard us.
That's definitely a fine line there, because it's once you start making a few, you think that's all you need to do. But we still need Serge to stay within a range that he's going to make a high percentage. But he does. He has worked on it, and he makes them in practice. It's not something that we're just experimenting during the games. He's definitely worked on them in practice, and he's taken them. I can't imagine him taking more than one a game, but there's going to be nights where he's open, and we all feel confident, especially in the corners. I think that's range, 22 feet. He can knock that down hopefully at a 40% clip.
I think what's been impressive about Serge and his three-point shots is the fact that they're all corner threes, and those are the easiest threes to take in a game, and I think he's positioned himself to take that shot. Also, if you look at some of those highlights, he's standing basically alone. So you look at the great penetration by the guards that set him up for that shot. The spacing on the floor has to be very good in order for him to get a standstill jump shot. The offense, again, working at a very high level.
One of the interesting things in the preseason and watching his teammates react was how much they trust him taking that shot. And that's a byproduct. Kendrick Perkins told me this after the win in Wichita against Dallas, of him making 500 jumpers a day. 500.
Well, he's committed to getting better, and I think this is a team thing, that everybody's committed to getting better. You want to bring something back, a new dimension, if you will, every time you come back into a new season. And Serge Ibaka has certainly been one of those guys that continues to improve every single year.
Well, fellas, he always had the tools. Scott Brooks has said for a couple of years that Serge Ibaka is one of the team's best mid-range shooters. Let's talk about the assist factor again. 25 assists a game is 7 better than the Thunder registered last year by average, Matt.
And we saw this begin to change, guys, in the San Antonio series in the Western Finals a year ago, really because it had to change facing the Spurs and trying to keep up with what their offense was all about. But I think that was such a great learning experience for this team, and they've really applied it since. And there's a level of trust that they share between each other. And again, Grant, to me, it's familiarity of where guys want the basketball, working to those spots, and getting the ball on time and on target results in a really explosive offensive attack.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest factors. You've got to trust that your teammate's going to be where you expect him to be, and also trust enough that he's going to make the right basketball play. And we hear the guys talk about that along with Scott Brooks, guys making the right basketball plays, and I think that big-time trust factor really comes in. You have to move that ball to turn down a good shot to get even a better shot, and I think everybody understands that, and that's what's going to make this club very good.
Well, I guarantee you, as hard as these guys have worked on this, the Thunder feels to a man that this work is paid off. Very, very rewarding to see how it's turning out.
I know that we were one of the last in the league in assists, but we still scored the ball efficiently. But I think we would be much better and more potent offense if we add, 5 or 6 more assists to it. It's as simple as that.
Well, I thought we passed the ball as well as we've had. All training camp, 34 assists. The passing was contagious. Hopefully we can continue that. I thought everybody really did a good job of getting open, getting spaced, and moving the basketball.
That's really what we worked on all training camp. We had to come in, got a bunch of guys that can really play with the basketball and make plays, so we got to give them space. And we've been having some great space. That's why I think we had maybe 30 assists again tonight, so that's great.
That was a point of emphasis today. We had too many turnovers the last 2 games. And, a lot of guys, everybody trusts each other. So it was easy to make quick ball movements, and a lot of people finish for us.
At the other end of the floor, fellas, I think opponents have found it much tougher to get their business done, especially in the interior.
Good defensive teams, Grant, want opposing teams to shoot the mid-range shot. It's a lost art. Guys grow up camped out to shoot the 3 or dunk. So good defensive teams want to start from the interior, lock that down, and make certain they run guys off the 3-point line. This team is getting really adept at that, but it begins with the guys on the interior.
Well, I think this team has learned to also live with Serge Ibaka protecting the basket, but they've also learned how can we help protect the basket a little bit better in helping Serge out. Now that's where you see guys kind of disperse out along the perimeter area and cover those 3-point shots, because they understand they need to help Serge, because he's rotating quite a bit in that interior trying to protect the basket.
I think the tell on this is that in the third quarter in Chicago, the Bulls had done pretty well inside in the first half. Third quarter, they got 4 points in the paint, and Dallas was but 16 of 37 inside. Next on Thunder Insider, we'll go online and bring in Nick Gallo to talk about other notable developments in training camp 2012.
Hi, my name is KENDRICK Perkins, and you're watching Thunder Insider.
Brian Davis and Grant Long picking it up on Thunder Insider now with Thunder web writer Nick Gallo. You can read his stuff and occasionally see him on our website, thunder.nba.com. We've just been talking about the Thunder's interior defense, but Nick, the post offense has also been solid through the course of training camp in the preseason.
The Thunder is still going to run a lot of pick and roll and a lot of drive and dish, but this is an opportunity when they get guys like Russell Westbrook or Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka, Perry Jones down in the post. They can invert the offense. They can start the offense in a different spot on the floor.
I think also when you talk about those guys, you can also throw James Harden in that mix as well. He's developed a post-up game over the summer. I think what it generates is opportunities for Kevin, Russell, and those guys to get a little closer to the basket for a higher percentage shot. They also have the opportunity with Durant and Westbrook. They're going to receive double team. So you've got some of the best passers on the team in a low post position to find cutters in case there is a double team. I think it's a great advantage for this ball club as they move forward.
Grant, I think this comes back to something you said earlier in the program, and that is we're dealing here with the product of longevity, consistency, continuity.
You're certainly right with that, Brian. And I think when you talk about having that caliber of talent in the low post, we're talking Westbrook, Harden, and the rest of these guys, their vision and the continuity of being able to stay in that low post to create offense, like Nick mentioned, it just gives another option as opposed to just coming down and throw it directly into the post or running the pick and roll. It really spreads the offense out.
At the same time, Nick, I know this is something that you have written about on the website. The Thunder has this core of veterans now, but they have also very successfully been able to get the newer guys in and develop the players that they're looking at to be reserve players.
The preseason has been really important for this. You think about times during last season or the course of any season when you never know when somebody's going to have to step up. And so during these times in preseason games, when you got reserves that are coming in, you want all the players on the court to be playing as hard as possible to make sure everybody is working.
And when you think about it, guys like Reggie Jackson and Cole Aldridge, this is their first training camp.
These guys have made tremendous strides. Reggie Jackson, I've enjoyed talking to him and watching him play because I know what he was last year, and he's a marketable, improved player from last year to this year. Cole Aldridge, in my estimation, one of the best post-up players that this team has because of his ability to use both his right and left hand in the low post.
Absolutely. I mean, throughout the course of this year, you never know when Aldridge or Jackson is going to be called upon, what those rotations are going to look like. Throughout a season, you have injuries, you have different rotations, different lineups and matchups. So those guys are really going to be important.
Something that has really helped everybody. I mean, from the top of the roster, the All-Stars and the Olympians, down to the last guy at the end of the bench. This has been the most competitive training camp we have seen since the Thunder moved to Oklahoma City.
I think that's a byproduct of being a good team. You know, the good teams don't have a whole lot of draft picks that they can get. They're not in the lottery, so to speak, so they have to go out and try to manufacture a training camp roster, if you will. So hats off to the staff, Sam Presti and his group, for bringing in the right kind of caliber of players that makes this camp very competitive. The bigs have been very competitive, and at the point guard and off guard position, they've also been competitive. So it's very difficult to have a training camp of players that are competing for roster spots as these players are.
Nick Collison said that this is the best group of training camp invitees that he's been around. And so you have players that are challenging each other at every single position, and this is how you get better.
I say this, I think it speaks to, for instance, Kevin Durant's maturity, that he has been absolutely willing to get out on the practice floor at the Integris Health Thunder Development Center and allow himself to be worked over by the new guy, Perry Jones, who, with his wingspan, can really give Durant the kind of challenge in practice that he hasn't had before. Kevin's all for that.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
We're just so glad that the Thunder could come up here to Bixby.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Well, it's great. We get support, great support in Oklahoma City, but we also get support from around the state.
It's big time excitement close to home, and we appreciate that.
Hey, I'm THABO SEFOLOSHA, and you're watching Thunder Insider.
Merci, THABO. And now it is showtime. The Thunder opens the 2012-13 season next Thursday, November the 1st at San Antonio. That game will be broadcast on TNT. We'll have it for you. All 82 regular season games on the Thunder Radio Network with Matt Pinto. And then the following night, the second, Portland is in Oklahoma City for our home opener. We'll have the broadcast for you on Fox Sports Oklahoma with Thunder Live beginning at 6:30. We'll look forward to seeing you at Chesapeake Energy Arena. Okay, packed houses for the preseason games in Tulsa and then in Wichita. Same story for our annual blue and white scrimmage at the Spirit Bank Event Center in Bixby.
Last year was really special, being at a high school and having it packed. This year, coming to Tulsa, was the first time we came to Tulsa to do something like this. So it was good to come out here and play in front of these fans out of Tulsa. So
we're just so glad that the Thunder could come up here to Bixby.
Oh my gosh, I think it's great for Bixby. This is awesome. This is awesome.
Well, it's great. We get support, great support in Oklahoma City, but we also get support from around the state.
Number 2, THABO
It's big for us. We appreciate the fans from all over the state, and it's a unique opportunity for people to come in and just come in and watch and see the team up close. And it's one of the funnest things, or most fun things. We do it every year. It's always fun for us.
Nice turnout from the folks in Bixby. I think it's a full house tonight.
Well, we're just out here checking out our favorite team, the OKC Thunder, and also supporting the Tulsa 66ers.
For the Thunder to make the trip up here, it's awesome.
You know, the fans came out to see us play, so we didn't want to mess around. We wanted to play hard and show them a good game.
It's big time excitement close to home, and we appreciate that. Everybody was enthused, and they seemed like they're excited about the season, so I can't wait.
Great fan experience, so important to our organization. I used to work with a guy who would say, basketball is life. I don't know. There is basketball and then there is life. Consider, if you will, the story of a young man from the Tulsa area with cerebral palsy.
I wanted to come, but I knew that this guy had to come. And so we did whatever we could to make sure he got here. This handsome man is my brother Adam, who's 25 years old and has never been to a live sporting event in his life. of the Oklahoma City Thunder as the Oklahoma Thunder. And Adam, who watches probably 8 hours of sports a day and night, has loved supporting the Thunder.
It started with a photo from Instagram. I happen to know Rania just casually, and I saw a photo of her and her sister and their brother Adam at WWE SmackDown, which I thought was awesome, and I wanted to know the story about it. When I asked them, they said this was our dry run because we've always wanted to take Adam to a major sporting event. We have these great seats for the Thunder, and we want to take our baby brother, but our parents are a little nervous. So they wanted to do a practice run, and everything went fine. So this is his big night, his first Thunder game. This is his first big pro sports game, and he's a huge Thunder fan. So we wanted to capture that moment.
Listen. Adam, is this awesome? Yeah, it's like totally awesome. And you know, it's like the thing he loves the most, sports, like getting to see them in the Oklahoma City Thunder live. It's, you know, we take for granted all these things, but for him, this is as good as it gets, and it's awesome.
To me, my brother is such a huge part of my life. I love him dearly, so I love the idea of this story and the lengths they would go to for their brother.
Go Thunder! We're crushing them, which is awesome. And secondly, it's been just an amazing experience to see how excited watching live basketball can make someone, especially when the live basketball are the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're still smiling, and so I just don't know how we're going to ever top this again. So thanks, it's been great.
There is life, and then there is love, and as you saw, it can run pretty deep in Thunder territory. I'm Brian Davis. We'll see you next week right here on Thunder Insider.